Have you wondered why one of the biggest fear that many of the software developers have is to modify somebody else's code, to extend somebody else's code, and to the worst is to fix defect into somebody else's code? Well, this story covers the answer. In the last story, we saw how Cody realized one of the biggest secrets of software development, and that is, given a software code, how do we identify whether it's good or bad? So once Cody realized the secret, he wanted to verify it. So he talked to Max, his friend, and asked for a code as a reference. So once Cody looked at the code, he found out that code was not so good. But then came the difficult part, how to inform Max that his code is not so good. You know how difficult that is? Maybe you can try this trick. Try telling any developer that his or her code is not so good. It's an amazing conversation to have. But eventually, Cody did talk to Max and explained him that his code is not so good. And as expected, Max was not convinced. Max argued that the code has been working good for some time, although with some defects, but it's working. So how can you say that it is not so good? But then Cody shared his learnings, his experience, and his realization, and the rationals that we saw in the last story, and explained him why the code is not so good. Upon realizing that, Max was shocked and surprised to see how his code is perceived so differently by other developers, as in Cody. All the time he was thinking that he has been really good software code developer. But this new enlightenment, it helped him not only understand the importance of other developers' view, but also helped him realize another secret of software development. And that is why many of the software developers are afraid of other code. He realized that in the collaboration, many developers come together and work at the same time in the project on the same component or different component. And then Max realized that if Cody, as the other developer, has difficulty in understanding his code, how would he be able to modify it? It's difficult, right? So imagine the complexity it would trigger when many developers work together, modify each other's code, which are difficult to understand by others. How would the other developers, when they see the code, they will be able to adjust with that? It's very difficult, and that is why most of the developers stay away from others' code, because others' code is not written in a way so that it can be understandable in a one go. This is reason number one, and now the biggest reason, as Max realized and shared with Cody. Hey Cody, as a developers, me and you would move on from one function to another function, from one file to another file, from one component to another component, from one project to another project, and on the worst, from one company to another company. But our code, no matter how small or big contribution is, stays then and there. We might forget about our code, but our code does not. It remains with the product all the time, and it's used by the customers all the time. So as the product evolves over a period of time, what we see as a code is the contribution of many developers over a long time. So imagine a situation where a new developer joins such product in between development. What the new developer is seeing is an output of many developers combined. And so, for a new developer to understand what's going on, it's going to take a tremendous amount of time, and then on top of it, to fix some defects inside that. So it's like a walking into unknown territory, not knowing what lies ahead. And that is why the new developer would prefer to work something on his own or her own, where they know the territory, rather than touching others' code, which might break something that the new developer is not aware about, because the code that is an output of many developers is not written in a way that the new developer is going to understand that. And so finally, in a nutshell, Max realized that if he wants to write a good code, or if he wants others to understand his code, then he should be able to write a good code not only for himself but for others also. As he realized, beauty lies in the eyes of beholder, as you all know. But in our case, beauty of a good code lies in the eyes of other developers. And then came the big question that Cody was completely unprepared for. Max said, "Hey Cody, now that you know that my code was not so good, can you show me how to write a good code?" And Cody felt as if he's invited trouble for himself, because identifying whether a given code is good or bad is one part of the puzzle. But writing a code which is good for not only for yourself but for other developers like you is altogether a new puzzle. And Cody is right now staring at it and searching for the answer. So if you have the answer, please share and help Cody, Max and his friends. And if you have any other questions, suggestions, improvements or comments, then also please share, because together we all can learn and make some really good software. This is Devendra Banker signing off, and keep listening to your code or others' code, because every code has a story to tell. Thank you so much.